I mean, you'll start to see it in performance, like maybe numbers will start to suffer. You'll start to see it you'll feel it in meetings, virtual meetings or in-person meetings, like these undercurrents of something being off. You might even witness it if you're in an office environment where you're seeing little conflicts between different functions, right? Creative arguing with finance or finance arguing with planning. Again, if you're worth the job that you're in, which is a leader of people, right? Then you have to be doing active listening and you have to be doing active watching.
And here it is. It's Relationships at Work, a leadership podcast helping you build workplace connection, improve culture, and avoid blind spots. I'm Russell Lolliker, your host of this podcast. I am a communications and leadership expert. I have a couple of very successful decades in both those areas and a whole heap of curiosity. That is an exact measurement, by the way, heap of curiosity, just like you, on how we can make the workplace a better place. And that's what we all want, right? We want an organization where we feel excited about going to work, where we feel connected to those that are around us, where it feels authentic, it feels real. It doesn't feel like we're wearing masks or putting on airs, I guess, for lack of a better term. People feeling like they're better than others or looking down on other people. We just want some respect. We just want to feel like we connect in the work we do and the work people around us do. And I don't think it's too much to ask. And that's one of the DNAs of this podcast, is really getting into that humanity. So I always enjoy conversations around authentic leadership. Because again, we throw around these words all the time: authenticity, leadership. We don't really define them in the workplace as much as we should. We talk around them and we use words and avoid the actions sometimes in these spaces. Not everybody, not us, because we're here to try to make it better, but it is a problem in some organizations. So I think if we have these honest conversations about authentic leadership, we can move the needle. And Jim Fielding has done an amazing job of getting us up to speed on what authentic leadership is. So I'm thrilled to wrap up this latest and last part of our conversation about authentic leadership. And big thanks to Jim for joining us. And I look forward to sharing you this last installment, as it were. Hold on. Relationships are so essential for figuring out authenticity for yourself and for your teams and the organization. So I want to dig into some tangible things we can do to be more authentic, or maybe understand authenticity that's around. Yeah. You've given great examples of therapy is a great one for ourselves, tools to learn each other. I'm now hearing, if you want to really understand authenticity in your organization, curiosity might be a really
for
key way of figuring that out. How can that show up? Perfect example in your story there is, can we sit down and talk about what you're going through? But you have to lay the groundwork for that too.
You do. I mean, one of the tools that I love, and it's a super simple tool, and I think it's actually a team building tool. And again, I mean, anybody can Google this. It's called a lifeline exercise, right? And you literally say to people, come into this meeting that doesn't have to be pretty, but draw a timeline of your life and what the high points of your life were and the low points of your life, and explain them to us. It's like an icebreaker. It's like a way of getting to know somebody. I think that's a great tool of just, again, stoking curiosity, because all of a sudden you find out that somebody was like a college Division I track and field champion that you never knew, or they're one of 10 kids. Something about them, like you start to learn their uniqueness. I think another great one is to start meetings, to take like meeting management 101, when you pull a group of people together, have an agenda, have a set that's published ahead of time, have a set of expectations so they know what meeting they're coming to, and then literally put on the agenda warm up or icebreaker. And there's so many different ones. You can Google what are 10 great icebreakers, right? Tell me something, go around the room, tell me something about yourself that no one else knows, or something that would really surprise you. And again, someone says, I'm one of 10 children, or, I was actually born in Japan, like my dad was in the military. It doesn't have to be soul wrenching, right? It can be, my first job was in an auto mechanic shop, right? But it creates that humanism again, right? Where it makes everybody in that room slightly more human and slightly more accessible to each other. And they're not just bluntly widgets performing a job in a company. They're humans coming together to work. And particularly in creative organizations, which I was always running, I think it was really, really important to have those human connections.
And I think it says the power of communication as well, because I've been with teams and I'm like, I don't really know your motivations. I don't really know where you're
Totally.
coming from. I don't know what your
Totally.
values are. Do they align with the
Totally.
organizations? Should they? So people will take the information you're describing and keep it to themselves and go, good, I
Completely.
know me better. Fantastic.
Right.
But in
Yeah.
exercises like that, it's, yeah, but now everybody in the room knows you better. You can be
Mm-hmm.
authentic because you're communicating and we're doing this vulnerably out
Yeah,
loud,
you get it. Yeah.
which
I
helps with
love that
connection.
you
Helps with
so
connection.
understand this. Yeah. Like you and I would be great together working together because you so get it. No, and there's all these hints I give, and I do a lot of this in coaching too. I mean, I'm not consulting, but in coaching, go have different people run meeting, make them be in charge of the meeting. Like you don't always have to run the meeting. And by putting other people in charge of the meetings are different because different managers communicate differently. But it's a really good exercise for someone to plan a team meeting or plan a business update meeting. You know, when I was in an office environment with a team, we definitely had a meeting cadence. We definitely, we had team meetings every week at the same time, and I would change who was in charge of it. And there's all these other hints too. Like we did meeting free Fridays. Fridays were not days where you did any scheduled meeting because Friday became a very good catch up day for you to work on your work. But also, what you started to see happening is people kind of walking around the office and just doing those casual hallway conversations or meeting up at the coffee thing. I mean, one of the best investments I made at Fox, this can sound so stupid, I put in a commercial grade Nespresso machine, right? Like it was an expense, right? Because it was like those Nespresso pod things. Why did I do that? Okay, I'm a capitalist. Number one, my people were running out to Starbucks every 2 hours and be gone, right? By me providing them free Nespresso, and I had to justify this to everybody, finance and everybody else. Doesn't mean they still didn't go to Starbucks. Of course they did because it was Starbucks, but they maybe one time a day they'd go into that Nespresso machine. Every time I walked into where that Nespresso machine was, I put one on one side of the building and one on the other. There was 2 or 3 people talking while they were making their Nespressos. And they might have been, one was from graphic design, one was from finance, and one was from HR. It doesn't mean one team got up and went made coffees together. You know what I'm saying? And I think that those spontaneous, natural, again, human conversations were huge for building the culture. What are you doing this weekend? Oh, you're going to the Madonna concert? Oh, your kid has a soccer tournament? Like, and sometimes I'd walk in to make my espresso or get a juice or whatever, and I would just join in, just observe, just listen. We're humans. That's again the humanness of it. It was the best investment I ever made. And by the way, they bitched at me. Like, oh my God, the rent on the machine, blah, blah, blah. I'm like, fine, take it out of my travel budget. I don't care. Like, to me, that was an investment.
I think it's key to understand that the more comfortable people are, the more they understand each other as human
Mm-hmm.
beings and not a means to an end or what
Mm-hmm.
you can and can't do for me, the more
Mm-hmm.
comfortable they'll feel to share that authentic information about
Mm-hmm.
themselves, their background, who they are. Not a lot of people are comfortable with that. We've talked about
Mm-hmm.
diversity, and there's a lot of people going, I don't care about you. I come here for my
Totally.
work. It's
Totally.
about me.
Yeah.
But to be a leader, I'm sorry, you're going to have to get out of that
Totally.
shell. So going back to, you've mentioned coaching. How do you
Mm-hmm.
coach authenticity? How do you coach that in people
Well, I mean,
on a
it's
day-to-day
funny. I
basis?
mean, I feel like this podcast I'm going to use as advertisement for coaching because all these questions you ask me. I mean, all of my coaching engagements, first off, before I start a coaching engagement with somebody, we have at least 2 quote free sessions where we get to know each other and make sure that the goals are very clear about why this person's engaging a coach and that I'm the right kind of coach for them. Because there's many different kinds of coaches. I am a very EQ coach, right? And so if you're not going to be comfortable with doing a lifeline exercise or a personality assessment, I can refer you to other kinds of coaches who are more IQ coaches, but I'm more EQ. So very similar to what we said. When I start with a new client, I have them do the lifeline exercise and I have them do a personality assessment. And if they've had one recently, I'll say, well, just send me the one you had, because I'm trying to understand, again, the context. And in the first couple of sessions, it's like getting to know you. And I'm asking them questions that are bringing up things from their past, not necessarily dredging up things from their past, but what's the largest team you've ever managed? Tell me the time where you felt the most happy at work. Tell me the time you felt the most stressed at work. Those are the kind of questions a coach asks to get them talking so that you really understand what makes them motivate. And that's where a good coaching relationship, I require a 4-month minimum, because it's not solved. Like, you can't have one coaching session and be like, okay, that's it. To me, it's weekly sessions for 3, 4, 5 months where that relationship grows. And to be an effective coach, you have to be an incredible active listener and you have to be an incredible question asker, because the rule is, the client should be talking 70 to 80% of the time. They should be talking, because then you're hearing things and then you're like, oh, I'm going to ask a question about that, or I'm going to note that. And for me personally, I like one-on-one coaching and I like group coaching, but I purposely don't take on a huge coaching roster because I want to have really quality relationships with my clients.
If you had one action somebody could do tomorrow to be either a more authentic leader or to bring it to their team, where would you say they should start?
Well, I think you've hit on it so much. It's spend some time looking in the mirror, figuratively or literally, and get in touch with yourself and your self-awareness. What makes you tick? What do you like? What do you not like? What do you want to change about yourself? Because listen, there's all things we want to be better at. Like, none of us, we're never perfect. I think it's doing that self-awareness of, and however you get there, right? For some people, it might be by reading a book or some magazine articles or, some online articles, or it may be, again, seeing a therapist or whatever. I think if you really want to do it, like, you have to be completely self-aware. And self-aware means knowing what you're good at, what you're not good at, what you like and what you don't like, and owning that and accepting yourself unconditionally. There are things that I'm not good. Like, I'll just use a great example. I'm good at interpreting numbers. I hate doing numbers. For me to be an effective leader, I need a strong CFO. Like, I need an incredible CFO that I can trust implicitly, because I'm happy reading reports. But if you ask me to do a ledger or a P&L statement or a 3-year or 5-year plan, my head will pop off. That's not, I can do it. I don't like to. I know I need a strong CFO or a strong head of finance on my team that I trust. That's my self-awareness, so.
Thanks so much for being authentic with us. God
I love
damn, I couldn't
it.
believe I said that. That was just so cheesy.
It's
It was just such an easy grab. It was.
there. It's the word is tattooed on my forehead at this point, I think.
Thanks for sharing your insights and experience with us, Jim, today. Really appreciated the conversation.
Oh my gosh, I appreciate you so much. Thank you for giving me the opportunity.
That's Jim Fielding. He's an executive coach, professional speaker, and author. Please check out his book. It's called All Pride, No Ego, The Queer Executive's Journey on Living and Leading Authentically. Take care, Jim. Thank you so much.
Have a great day.
That's it.
Yay! That was awesome.
We are done. This is Relationships at Work, a leadership podcast helping you build workplace connection, improve culture, and avoid blind spots. I am your host, Russell Lolliker. Thank you so much again for joining us. Time is something we seem to have less and less of these days, so I can't tell you how much I am grateful for the time you spend with us. I'm hoping these shorter, more targeted episodes are a little easier to consume than a longer formatted episode in your commute, in your walk to work. However you spend your day listening to podcasts, I hope you feel that these are a little bit more of use to you, a little bit more of value. If you'd love to tell me one way or the other, I'd love to hear from you. hello@russelllolliker.com. That is the best way to connect with me. Or you can find me on Threads, or you can find me on our Facebook page, or you can find me, all the places. Except Twitter. I don't think I'm on Twitter barely at all anymore. Or X, sorry. Can't keep up with the things these days. But yeah, that's one I don't spend as much time on. But Instagram and so forth, pretty easy to find me. And love to hear from you. This is the whole point of the show, is to connect, build community. And I hope this helps. All right, talk to you later. Bye.